What a headshot! What a head!
How's it guys, this is Dayvy, FPL, and welcome back to the Fantasy Premier League video here on my channel. Now in this video, I'll be taking you guys through my final team selection for the upcoming Game Week 1. So as you guys are watching this video, a few hours till that Game Week 1 deadline, so now it's time to actually lock in our teams. So I'll be going through my final team selection as well as the financials or the draft element to show you guys where all the money's been spent. Now let me know in the comments down below what your final drafts are looking like. I'll try to get back to as many of you as possible in the comments as there's only a few hours left. So let's waste no time in giving you guys this team, so sit back, relax, and let's get straight into it. Use Fantasy Football Fix to help win your mini leagues. Their new Elite XI tool helps you track the world's best managers live, giving you access to the minds of some of the best managers in the world with over 80 top 10k finishes. You'll get game week by game week analysis of their teams as well as instant team change push notifications from their app available on iOS as well as Android. Get started now for free using the link in the description and get free access to the Game Week 1 deadline. So as mentioned a few hours till that Game Week 1 deadline, I'll be doing a deadline stream about 1 hour before the deadline, so make sure those bell notifications are turned on so you guys get a notification when I do go live. Now I'm not saying there might be changes in the hours from when you guys watch this video to when I do the live stream, but maybe we get news about Harry Kane leaving Spurs, which could shake things up. But even if we assume that the team is going to stay exactly the same, we could have some nice surprises from a Man City lineup as they take on Burnley in the first game. So I can't promise early team news, but there might be a little bit of a kind of hint of team news, as we do have a couple of sources now in the FPL community. Now will this kind of news affect much in my team? Not necessarily, don't really think it's going to affect Haaland, but imagine if Haaland is benched for Game Week 1. But if you guys are looking for some player news like a Foden or even an Edison, or the defensive department should be pretty popular. So just keep that in mind that we might still be getting some early team news. I'd be prepared for this. Maybe prepare a draft without those Man City assets that you're not sure of starting, as they might not. But even if you don't get early team news, I still think it's going to be an absolute banger of a deadline stream, so hopefully I'll see you guys there. But now let's get on to the actual team. First, I want to give a shout out to all you new Legend members especially, but if you guys do want to become a YouTube member, it supports me greatly, and you guys do get a few perks. One of those perks, if you do become a Legend member, is access to my transfer plan throughout the season. Now I will be giving you guys all my kind of transfer plans in these videos, as well as on the deadline stream, but if I do make a transfer between the videos and the deadline streams, I'll be letting you Legend members know. But don't worry, all other access to my team will be available for free on my YouTube channel. You guys also get access to exclusive channels over my Discord server where you can chat to me one-on-one, but yet again there's also free channels if you guys don't. Otherwise, simply follow me at Dayvy FPL for any updates on my team, and let's hope it's going to be a massive season. So let's get on to the actual draft, and the first thing you'll notice is 0.0 left in the bank, so every little bit of money has been squeezed into the starting 11 and the bench, but I'll be going over the bench last as I want to show you guys how I make my drafts. Now we'll be going through this draft from the goalkeeper to the forwards, then as I mentioned the bench last, as that's the least important. So my starting goalkeeper currently is still going to be Edison between the sticks, so I do know got a bit of comments on my last video, on my draft video about Edison, but most of you have actually come around to him. Now I know that he might not be the best goalkeeper to go for, but the reason I want to get him in my team is because I want a slice of that Man City clean sheet. So at the current moment, they've just signed Guardiola. Is he going to slot in from Game Week 1? Who kind of knows, but in my opinion, too much rotation might be among the centre backs. Their attacking threat isn't that significant, so why not just go for Edison? Might be the same floor as well as the same ceiling. Now however, he is actually one of the positions I'm not 100% sure on, and I'll detail that at the end of this video. But comment down below, do you think that Edison is a complete waste of a Man City player? I'm not really looking to triple up or get more options, so he's not really blocking any players, but the other 4.5s could actually be good value. But for the current moment, Edison is between the sticks, and I do, as I said, want a bit of that Man City defensive coverage. Now let's go on to our back three department, and we're going to start off with Ben Chilwell, my favorite Chelsea defender. Now I've seen some kind of hype for Reece James after he got the captaincy, but Ben Chilwell is also the vice captain apparently. So let's hope that both these two options do stay fit throughout the season, because both of them are good FPL players, and at 5.5 million, both could be absolute steals. Now we'll be playing kind of Ben Chilwell against Liverpool at home in the first game. I just feel like Liverpool aren't the best of sides at the moment. Same with Chelsea, unfortunately, after losing Nkunku. So how's that going to impact that Chelsea build-up play? It might significantly impact it, but I still think Chilwell will be pretty attacking, as Pochettino loves his fullbacks to be that. So no problem with him, and he's a kind of medium-term hold as long as he stays injury-free, fingers crossed. Then our next two defenders, I'm not going to go over them in too much depth. It's Gabriel and also Stupinan, both 5.0 million, good value picks, good fixtures to start off the season with, and both offer some attacking threat. Gabriel obviously off those set pieces, Stupinan at that fullback position, and these two players haven't really left any of my drafts. Now I actually might have gone for Zinchenko over Gabriel if he was going to be fit. As you would have seen in the defender review video, Zinchenko's stats are pretty strong. But for now, let's settle on kind of confirmed starts. It's going to be the centre back pairing. You guys go for Gabriel or Saliba. Then with a Stupinan, no replacement there. If you want to go for Dunk, you can, but I just feel like a Stupinan's better. Now the defenders that I could have actually gone for, obviously no Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's actually a bit away from my draft. I actually removed him after my first draft. Liverpool don't look comfortable defensively, but I still think that he's a fine pick for FPL. Other than that, I've gone for kind of Ben Shaw over at John Stones because I have Edison between the sticks. Now let's go on to our midfield department, and I'm going to start off with my favourite option, Marcus Rashford. A lot of questions over on Discord about Rashford versus Bruno. I personally prefer Rashford, think that he's worth the 0.5, also because he's playing out of position to start off the season after Højlund's injury. But I actually haven't given myself that debate because I've gone for both of them, so Bruno's also going to be here. Now this might be a little bit of overkill to start the season with. United's fixtures aren't that great, but I feel like at their price points, they're both good value for money. If we see that Bruno's kind of sitting deeper with Mount in the team, we can always downgrade him to someone like a Maddison at 7.5. So let's hope that both these two players are going to be good value because I expect them to be, and I think United should start the season quite well. Now let's go on to another double up. It's going to be Bukayo Saka and Martinelli. Now you guys can also go for Odegaard, but obviously I've got 0.0 in the bank, so I can't afford him. But I actually think Martinelli is a good replacement. Now this news came about after Gabriel Jesus' unfortunate knee injury, and I wanted to still complete my Arsenal triple up. So you guys can go for Odegaard if you want the value. I'll talk about that a little bit later on, but currently these two players are mainstays. I think Saka is generally one of the more template players, one of the more essential options, is on penalties, doesn't have the best attacking stats, but he should be nailed. Now there might actually be another interesting selection from Arsenal if you guys want to go there. It's Kai Havertz. With Jesus out injured, it seems like he might be playing the 9th position, so effectively out of position. So you guys do want to go there. He's a cheaper option to Martinelli, you guys can, but I just prefer the Brazilian. Then the final midfielder option is going to be a 6.5 player. There's so many 6.5s at the moment. We've got Mbumo, we've got Solly March, Matoma. Probably prefer Matoma out of the two of them. We then have Eze from Crystal Palace, great asset, and he could prove to be a talisman for Crystal Palace. But the player I've gone for is going to be the former option, Mbumo at 6.5 million. I just feel like he's great value for money. Hopefully steps up in the shoes of Ivan Toney, and he should also be on penalties. Now my choice of 6.5 hasn't really changed throughout my drafts. It's always been Mbumo, and that's why I'm going to go for him. But if you guys do want to take advantage of those lovely Brighton fixtures, I mean Luton at home in Game Week 1 is simply outstanding. Matoma is another selection. So the midfield department obviously has one big omission. It's going to be no Mo Salah. I think Mo Salah's a fine kind of player to get into your teams if you want him. I would definitely captain him in Game Week 2 if you're going to go there. But unfortunately, I've gone without the Egyptian King. Let me know in the comments down below, do you guys actually have Mo Salah in your current draft? And are you then going to captain him in Game Week 2? So talking about captaincy, let's go over our forward department and let's start off with our perma captain, probably for the opening start to the season. It's Erling Haaland at 14.0 million. Now another mainstay in my team hasn't gone anywhere in my drafts. I think he's worth it at the more expensive price tag. You're going to captain him every single game week, and the Community Shield hasn't put me off him. Now I have actually seen some drafts in the comments down below and on my Discord server with people going without Haaland. I think you guys are super brave but also understand the risk. I'm not that brave. I think that he's going to have a great season again, and that's why he's in my team. Now going over our final option in our forward department, and if you've done the maths, kind of calculated a cheap bench, you know that I have about 8 million left for a forward, and it's going to be Ollie Watkins from Aston Villa. Now this position kind of comes down to 3 options in my opinion. It's going for Ollie Watkins, it's going for Jackson from Chelsea, or finally it's going for João Pedro from Brighton. Now because I had the money to spend on someone like an Ollie Watkins, and I really think that he's going to be a great option under Emre, and we've seen that towards the end of last season. So for the player but also flexibility, I've opted to go for the 8.0 option. Fixtures aren't that great to start the season with, but I like how Aston Villa are currently playing. So for me, it's a very safe selection. If you guys do want to go for João Pedro, as mentioned with Matoma, take advantage of those nice fixtures, you can always do that and keep money in the bank. But I'm personally going for kind of nailed minutes. He's on penalties, hopefully, although he's not very good at them, and that's enough for me as a safe option. But I can understand why you guys might want to go for a João Pedro. It's more of an exciting punt. Go for a Jackson, as great fixtures from Game Week 3 especially, but I'm going to stick with all reliable. Now finally going on to our bench, and the bench is going to be super cheap. We have a new 4.0 kind of king goalkeeper. It's me, Turner from Nottingham Forest, just transferred from Arsenal, but they are looking to potentially sign Henderson. Now at the current moment, what I think will happen with Turner is you might get him for 1 or 2 game weeks. If he does perform well in those game weeks, he'll continue to play. But if they do go and sign Henderson, I think ultimately Henderson will be number 1. So would I kind of base rotation pairs on Turner? No, I won't. I think yes, maybe for the opening 2 or 3 game weeks you guys can, but after that it's anyone's game. Also wouldn't suggest kind of going for 2 4.0s if you guys want to go for Turner and Areola. That's not the play to go for, but you guys might be arguing that Edison's not either. Then in terms of my 2 4.0s, I actually changed to Baldock and Bayer. I just like Burnley and Sheffield United more than I like Luton, even though Kabore is more attacking. So both these 2 players should be nailed in their teams, and at the end of the day the 4.0s won't do much hopefully. Then my 4.5 forward of choice, pretty popular, it's Mubama from West Ham, but just keep you guys eyes on the transfer news because apparently Archer and Balogun could find new clubs. So overall, as you guys can see, this is going to be my kind of final draft that I released in the video. This is different to the team selection, but as I said, I was kind of contemplating going for a second premium or going for this draft, and I think I've decided to actually spread the cash. So I'm not saying that you guys shouldn't go for Salah, shouldn't go for Kane. I just personally prefer this draft, and I think it looks pretty decent. But you guys might disagree with me, and one of those pain points might actually be the goalkeeper department, and as mentioned, that's a position that I'm not 100% set on. The reason for this is that Edison doesn't really provide the best kind of points margins, as he doesn't get too many saves. So I've considered actually downgrading Edison to a cheaper option. The one option I could go for is Onana, that will leave us with 0.5, as you guys can see, in the bank, for some future upgrades if they come about. But the one problem I have with 0.5 left in the bank is if a player does rise in price, you can kind of assume that a player that you want to bring in might rise in price, the player you might want to take out might drop in price, and therefore for an upgrade, you almost need 0.5 at a minimum, but probably more. So here's where the play comes in of actually downgrading Onana yet again, so Edison taking 1 million away from him and going for a 4.5 and then leaving 1 million in the bank. And there's so many 4.5s like the kind of 6.5 midfielder bracket, so many 4.5 goalkeepers at the moment. My current favourite is actually going to be Flecken from Brentford. Now that David Raya has left Brentford, I think that he should be first choice, and even though he didn't have the best preseason, I still think he's a valuable goalkeeper. So yes, my 4.5 is probably going to be Flecken, but I am also looking at Johnston from Crystal Palace, as I do like their defence. Now you guys can also go for someone like a Pickford, he's a fine option. Some people are looking at his rotation with Turner, but I don't know if I trust Everton. So right now it's between Flecken and Johnston, but I'm currently on Flecken because of that save point potential. Not saying that he is a David Raya, but if he can kind of fill half his shoes, should be a great option. So I will admit this kind of draft gives me a bit more security. That 1 million in the bank allows me to do maybe potentially Estupinan to James if he rises in price. Could also do Mbeumo to Maddison. That's a valuable option if Kane does stay at the club, and then you can avoid those opening 2 fixtures for Spurs. So at the current moment, it's between going for Edison or Flecken, but if you guys do like the Onana draft, comment it down below. I just wasn't really considering De Gea, so I don't really know if I'll consider Onana. Otherwise, let me know what your 4.5 goalkeeper of choice is going to be. My current is going to be the Brentford goalkeeper. Now the final talking point I want to go over is going to be just kind of running through the fixtures quite quickly. Obviously this is going to be our final team, so I want to go over who's going to be on the bench and who's going to be on the starting 11. Now that might be quite easy to predict, but in terms of the fixtures, don't necessarily have the best fixtures, especially our goalkeeper who has Spurs at home. Now I'm not saying that Brentford can't keep a clean sheet, but against Spurs you probably could expect them to concede, and unfortunately my sub goalkeeper Turner has Arsenal away. So I guess it's choose your North London rival. It's going to be Flecken ultimately against Spurs at home. So let's hope that he racks up some save points. Also Chor against Liverpool at home, not the best fixture. I think maybe attacking returns might be the only returns here, because I expect Liverpool to actually score. At least Gabriel and Estupinan have great fixtures against Nottingham Forest at home and Luton at home, and that continues into our midfield department. So Rashford has Wolves as well as Bruno, not the kind of high ceiling fixture, but I expect United to win, and hopefully there's no Wolves new manager bounce. Then no complaints about Saka and Martinelli, expect both them to start and hopefully score against the Nottingham Forest side. Then finally Mbeumo, but I do expect goals in this one. I expect goals from both sides, and hopefully Mbeumo is going to be involved. Then finally our captain is going to be against Burnley away. It's only Erling Haaland, not the kind of best captaincy fixture, but I think that he should still do well, and all eyes on that Man City team sheet. Then finally Ollie Watkins against Newcastle away. Now I actually don't really mind this fixture because if you have seen the kind of template team, Kieran Trippier is quite highly owned, so what better way to wipe out the clean sheet than an Ollie Watkins goal. So I really do hope that Ollie Watkins does score in this fixture, wipes out that Kieran Trippier clean sheet, and also repays us for the faith. Then on the bench, if someone does have to come on, it's probably going to be Baldock against Crystal Palace at home, much better fixture than Bayer against Man City at home, and Mubama probably won't play against Bournemouth. So overall, only complaints here are going to be the goalkeeper department in terms of the fixture, but just remember, goalkeeper, as long as you don't wildcard, is a long-term play, and the fixtures always even out. So comment down below, first of all, what you guys think about my draft on screen right now. Do you prefer the Edison alternative or the Onana alternative? And then while you're at it, comment your latest team, and let's see what you guys are dealing with. Otherwise, hopefully see you guys in the deadline stream coming up in a few hours time, and just make sure those teams are locked in, please. But this is basically gonna wrap up the video, guys. Hope you guys did enjoy it. Please don't forget to like if you did and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. I'll be seeing you guys in the deadline stream later, but for now I'm signing off. This has been Dayvy FPL and I'm out. Cheers, bye.